students, welcome to social science class. Today let us start Civics second lesson, fundamental rights and duties. In this lesson you have to learn about difference between the natural rights and the fundamental rights, and the fundamental rights provided the citizens by our constitution, attaining the capacity to understand and adopt 11 fundamental duties included in our constitution, finding methods to rein in the rights in the event of any obstacle to enjoy them. These are the topics you have to understand from this lesson. Now let us start the lesson. First one is fundamental rights. Now let us see what is the meaning of fundamental rights. The right means the authority to given to a citizen, an authority given by a nation to the citizen, that is known as right. It may be a natural rights, and two types of rights are there, like natural rights are there and legal rights are there. And natural rights like right to live, right for protection of life, and legally rights means like right to equality, right to education, and right against exploitation, right of religion, like this are there. No? These are known as the legal acceptable rights. Now let us see what is the fundamental rights. For the development of the individual and the country, some freedom and rights are unavoidable. So our constitution has given some fundamental rights to its citizens. Means the development of the individual of a country and the development of that country, some freedom and rights we needed. So according to our constitution, our country is giving some fundamental rights to the citizens for the development of the individual and the country. Now let us see what is the meaning of fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the basic rights. It's given to an individual by the constitution for his development. For the development of the individual, our constitution giving some rights to the individuals, that is known as fundamental rights. They are the constitutional rights. We are getting these rights according to our constitution. Fundamental rights are the important for social life. No one can violate these rights. Whatever the constitution is giving these rights, we are not having any right to violate that rights, and the fundamental rights are protected by the judiciary. Now let us see what are the types of fundamental rights. The Constitution of India has prominently provided 6 fundamental rights to all its citizens. First one is right to equality. Second one is right to freedom. Third one is right against exploitation. Fourth one is right of religion. Fifth one is cultural and educational rights. And sixth one is right to constitutional remedies. Now let us know these 6 rights one by one. First let us see about the right to equality. What is the right to equality? According to this right to equality, all are equal before the law. Nobody is above the law, and all deserves equal protection in our country, and it is accepted to include the right to equality. According to the right to equality, all are equal before the law, and nobody is above the law, and everybody deserves equal protection in our country. That is the right to equality. Again I'll explain. And example, like the government cannot discriminate on the basis of religion. The government cannot discriminate, means differentiate the people according to their religion, caste, sect, gender, or place of birth. And it cannot restrict entry to the shop, hotel, or recreational places to any of its itself. Means everybody have the right to visit everywhere in our country, like shops, hotels, and other holy places like that. And it cannot even restrict anyone from using the public wells, tank, road, and resting places. All citizens have the equal opportunity to enter the government services also. There is no difference for the people like any caste, people, religion, or gender. Everybody have the opportunity to enter the government services, and it cannot avoid anyone from entering to the holy places and offer praise. Everybody have the equality to do all those things in our country. There is no difference according to the religion, caste, sect, gender or place of birth. This is right to equality. Understood now? Next one is right to freedom. According to this right to freedom, everybody have the right to speech and freedom of expression and right to participate in the peaceful public meeting and right to establish institutions and associations, and everybody have the right to travel throughout the country without any restriction. Everybody can travel anywhere in our country without any restriction, and everybody have the right to live in any part of India and right to take up any in employment, business or occupation. These all are including in the right to freedom. According to the right to freedom, what are there? We have the right to speech and freedom of expression. We can express our opinions, and we have the right to participate in the peaceful public meeting, and we can establish any institution and associations, and we can travel throughout our country, and we can live anywhere in our country, and we have the right to take up, we can do any employment, business or occupation in our country. These are including into the right to freedom. And freedom cannot be discharged as one likes, though it is the fundamental right. And for some restrictions are there for the right to freedom, like freedom cannot be discharged as one's like, though it is a fundamental rights, and whatever we want we cannot do. It is a fundamental right, like that we cannot do all those things whatever we want. Some restrictions are there for the right to freedom. The Constitution itself states that the government can impose restriction on the individual freedom on certain occasions. Some occasions the government can do some restriction on the freedom, means right to freedom. Example, it restricts everyone from defaming someone by uncontrolled words on the pretext of discharging one's freedom of speech. Defaming means damaging the reputation of somebody. In these occasions and all, government can do some restrictions on that. Understood, no? Next one is right against exploitation. Now, right against exploitation, the objective of this right is prevent exploitation of poor, means mainly the objective. The aim of this right against exploitation is that preventing the exploitation of poor, women, children and the weaker section of the society. This is the main objective of the right against exploitation. In order to restrict exploitation in the name of religion, caste, gender and sect, the state and the central government have enforced many laws. According to do the restriction, means in order to do the restriction against the exploitation, the central government and the state government have made so many laws. For example, taking dowry is a punishable offense. That is, you all know that one, dowry taking, it is a punishable offense. Even the practice of bonded labor is also punishable. And employing the children in certain industries such as beadi making, mining and cracker manufacturing have been banned. And the children are expected to get education till the age of 14 years. Next one is right to freedom of religion. The citizens of India have the right to accept and follow religion of their own choice, and Indian citizens have the right to follow their own religion according to their own choice. Everyone has the right to observe the religious practices without disturbing the peace, discipline, hygiene in mind. Everybody have the right to practice their own religion, but they should not disturb the peace of the society, and they should not disturb the discipline and hygiene in mind. The Constitution also prohibits religious conversion by force, temptation or by falsehoods. And according to our constitution, there is one law is there, which means nobody should convert the people from one religion to another religion by force or temptation or by falsehoods. Next one is cultural and educational rights. These fundamental rights protects the cultural and educational interest of the minorities. People have a right to protect their own language, script or culture. According to these rights, means culture and educational right, people have the right to protect their own language, script or culture. The minorities have the right to establish educational institutions and manage them. The minority people have the right to establish their own institutions, and the educational institutions of the minorities should adhere the rules of stipulated by the government, but according to the government rules they have to follow. This is the cultural and educational rights. Next one is right to constitutional remedies. A citizen has the right to approach the court of justice in the event of the violation of the fundamental rights. If you are violating any fundamental rights, citizen has to approach the court of justice, and this is known as the right to constitutional remedies. Other rights can be protected by way of protecting this right. Fundamental rights and duties mean they are directly given to each citizen by the constitution. These fundamental rights and the fundamental duties, this directly given to the constitution to their citizen. Any individual, organization or institution such as parliament, assembly, judicial means, official group, police department and any other public institutions are restricted from violating them. They should not violate these fundamental rights and duties. In the event of violation, the aggrieved person can directly approach the High Court or the Supreme Court and seek redressal. And if anybody is violating this our rights or that duties of fundamental rights or duties, and they can approach the High Court or the Supreme Court and they can seek the remedies for that one. In the event of violation of fundamental rights and duties, a right petition can be filed either in the state court, state High Court or the Supreme Court of India. If any violation is there, we can give a written petition to the High Court or the Supreme Court of India. Next one is fundamental duties. The fundamental rights and duties are the two sides of the same coin. If a coin, we are taking two sides also very important. Like that, in our constitution, we are getting the fundamental rights we are getting, and one more is that is fundamental duties. Means that is our responsibility. That is a responsibility of an individual to his country is known as the duty. Means each and every individual of that country has some duty towards to their country. That is known as the duty. In case the people discharge their fundamental duties with self-motivation, the progress of the country becomes easier. Each and every individual is doing their own fundamental duty individually. In that time, the progress of the country becomes very easy. In the Constitution, 11 fundamental duties are included. There are I'll explain that one. First one is to respect the Constitution, national flag and national anthem. We have to give respect for our national flag and national anthem. And second one is to follow the noble ideas that inspired our struggle for freedom. And we have to follow the inspiration of our freedom struggle. And third one is to protect the unity of India. Fourth one is to defend the motherland. Have to protect our motherland. Fifth one is to promote the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all people of India. We have to promote the brotherhood among all the Indians. Sixth one is to preserve our rich heritage. We have to preserve our culture. Seventh one, to protect and improve the natural environment. We have to protect our natural environment. Eighth one is to develop the scientific temper and spirit of inquiry. We have to develop our scientific knowledge. Ninth one, to safeguard the public property and to give up the violence. We have to protect our public property, means our cultural property or like that. It will be there, like our public property, we should not destroy that one and give up the violence. We should not do any violence. And 10th one is to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activities. 11th one is the parents or the guardian should provide an opportunity for education to their children from age of 6 to 14 years. 6 to 14 years compulsory education the parents has to give their children. Next one is 11th one completed. And in case the citizens does not discharge any of these fundamental duties, the government cannot question it in the court of law. Even then, all the citizens are expected to do their duties with the self-motivation. Because if you are not following any of these 11 duties, the government cannot question individually all the people of our country. So, all the citizens are expected to do their duties with self-motivation. I hope you all understood this lesson. Next class I'll give you notes. Thank you, students.